3, 4. Burn it down! Burn it down! Burn it down!
Hi out there, world. Fort Worth, Texas is the backdrop for this first snarl of the 2025 Sweet Revenge Tour, and welcome to it. Wally Cardell, Johnny Bianco, and GM Tex Lynch, the usual suspects. We're hot off Texas Thunder in Dallas, and it was an amazing supercard, kicking off this year's summer tour.
It was one of the best super cards this year so far, but summer's just getting underway, and Tex says we're following up Texas Thunder with some very special matches tonight.
I meant what I said, and I said what I meant. This snarl's gonna be a blast, 100%.
Neither one of them's lying tonight. Snarl from Fort Worth, promising some extra special, supercard-worthy matches, and a championship match or two. Fireworks for this holiday edition of Snarl, so let's light the fuse on this one.
Folks, round up your snacks, get good and comfortable. Tonight's snarl is definitely something special.
Up first tonight, a return match between the Yankee Rose, Georgia Washington, and the currently smoking hot Rockin' Robin.
Good evening, Fort Worth, and welcome to our Rwl Sn Rl. Our opening contest is set for one fall with a 15-minute time limit. Introducing first, from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, here's the Yankee Rose, Miss Georgia Washington. It was just about a month ago on Rage that these two met for the first time, with Rockin' Robin picking up the 3-count pinfall after a fairly pitched battle. You would think Georgia might leave it alone, but no. According to Agent Myron Schimmelman, she's insisting on this rematch tonight because, and get this, because it's the 4th of July weekend. And that's a good sign. Did you ever, guys? She's a bit screwy, besides being an ego-tripping narcissist.
The kind of girl that checks her horoscope before a match. Yeah, I get it.
Her opponent accompanied by Jake the Snake Roberts from Charlotte, North Carolina. She's Rockin' Robin.
And on the other side of the argument, Rockin' Robin comes off a win at Texas Thunder over Alundra Blaze, and winning has been her thing since making her return to the Ladies Legends division. Robin naturally feels if she beat Georgia once last month, she can certainly do it again a month later, especially with her momentum being a freight train at the moment. Georgia may be sorry for insisting on this rematch.
Even against Georgia, Rockin' Robin has maintained her rule of wrestling her matches cleanly, even if Jake Roberts sometimes doesn't listen, like at Texas Thunder. Gotta wonder what he's gonna do, or not do, around Georgia Washington.
Well, might get ejected, might not, can't really say, gonna have to wait and see. But you gotta admit, Rockin' Robin, absolutely exuding confidence, huh? Well, guys, you can't go wrong starting off the card with a Ladies Legends matchup, and this one's going to be pretty good. A rematch at that. All right. Walt Ralphburn rings the bell. The ladies come center. Hard right from Georgia. Goes behind on Rockin' Robin. Just a gravity suplex right there. The Yankee roll slams Rockin' Robin's head to the canvas. Robin spins her around with a hard right, goes into a sweeper hold right away. Oh, less than 15 seconds. Georgia counters with a jawjacker. Backs off Rockin' Robin. Robin, kick to the midsection. Oh man, gouge in the face of Rockin' Robin. Oh, look at this. Now we're into a dragon sleeper. Robin counters with a couple of hard shots. Breaks up the hold. Rockin' Robin rebounds off the ropes. Nice kick. Takes Georgia Washington down to the canvas. Follows it up with a kick to the butt, basically. All right, look at this. Already into another submission. Stretching the legs, the knees, and the ligaments of the Yankee Rose. Rockin' Robin quickly back up on her feet first. Rebound off the ropes. Jump over Georgia, and look at this. Crossbody splash of the Yankee Rose. Look at this. Rockin' Robin decides she's going to go for it a second time. Oh, man. And a cover, too. One. Just a one. That'd have been real pretty if it had worked out. The Yankee Rose rolls out to the floor at the feet of Jake the Snake Roberts. Oh, well, that was a crash and burn. And Georgia Washington's going to exploit the mistake. Both ladies on the outside with the referee counting. Robin rolled back into the ring by Georgia Washington. Georgia makes her way back in, charges, leg sweep, takes Rockin' Robin down. A hard slap from the Yankee Rose. Georgia Washington snap suplex to Rockin' Robin. And Rockin' Robin starting to lose control of things here in a rip of a hurry. Into that Dragon Sleeper again. Referee, and don't worry about it, looks like Rockin' Robin gets her way out of the hold again. Rockin' Robin caught from behind by Georgia Washington. Another suplex. And another cover from the Yankee Rose. Only a one, and barely just a one. Rockin' Robin getting out of the pin really quick. Jake the Snake Roberts got to be a little bit concerned. Looks like the match might be getting away from Robin. Georgia Washington all the way up on the top turnbuckle. Here we go. Big time crossbody, well executed. Here's another cover with a hook. One. Again, just about a one count. Rockin' Robin powers out a knee to the back from Georgia Washington. Robin back up on her feet, charges a clothesline, takes down Georgia Washington. A second clothesline takes her down again. Puts on the brakes and a sweep of the leg to the Yankee Rose. Rockin' Robin looks like she just regained control of things. Here's a cover. One, two, and a 2 count only. The Yankee Rose powering out of that pin attempt. Georgia Washington quickly takes Rockin' Robin down to the canvas. The Yankee Rose with a stomp to the back, a stomp to the leg. Georgia Washington fired up, of course. 4th of July and all that. Rockin' Robin makes her way back to her feet. Georgia Washington takes her right back down again with a neck breaker. The Yankee Rose, Georgia Washington, drags Rockin' Robin towards the middle of the ring. Georgia rounds up Robin again, gets her by the leg. Dragon Screw takes her down. And a snap of the leg to Rockin' Robin. A hard slap, and here we go. Rocket's red glare. That could be trouble. Here's a cover. 1, 2. Oh, wow. Now, how about that? Shut up, Rockin' Robin. Powering out of the Rocket's red glare. And that don't happen too often. A kick of the leg from Georgia Washington. Doing a little bit of showing off in front of Jake the Snake Roberts. He's not going to appreciate that. Drives a knee into the lower back of Rockin' Robin. Georgia Washington with a head scissors and a shot right to the top of the dome for Rockin' Robin, who rolls out onto the floor. Georgia Washington off the top, 10 feet up, 10 feet down, crossbody. A referee already counting. And another handstand pair of knees to the midsection for Rockin' Robin. The Yankee Rose with a hard shot spins Robin around, has her up, slams her face down. Pendulum facebuster from Georgia Washington, who is really starting to feel it now and starting to pull away from Rockin' Robin here. Georgia Washington with a stomp. And again, more showing off to the folks in the front row. The Yankee Rose misses with the kick. Rockin' Robin catches her with a beautiful drop kick. Kick to the midsection. Rockin' Robin starting to fire back. A suplex as the referee continues to count. Rockin' Robin, back up on her feet first, makes her way back inside the ring. Now she's doing a little bit of hot dogging and showboating. Georgia Washington makes her way back inside, misses with a chop. They lock up. Has her up, slams her down, a one-arm slam. Oh, man, that was rough. Here's a cover. 1, 2, 3. Well, there it is. The Yankee Rose evens the score with Rockin' Robin.
The time, 6 minutes and 8 seconds. Your winner by pinfall, Yankee Rose, Miss Georgia Washington. Well, hell, looks like we're starting off with an upset win as Georgia Washington evens the score against Rockin' Robin and handing her an extremely rare loss. Talk about starting on a sour note.
Is it a big deal? Robin may not care about the loss, but she won't forget who gave it to her. They're gonna cross swords again over the summer. I'm sure. More snarl in just a minute.
Folks, I said there'd be surprises, and surprises there are. MJ Ferrantino has acquired the services of Ken Kennedy, who makes his RWL Legends Division return tonight against the model Rick Martel. Will wonders never cease.
This next contest is set for one fall with a 15-minute time limit. Introducing first from Montreal, Quebec, Canada, weighing 230 pounds, it's the model Rick Martin.
Johnny and I, we only just heard about this coming into the arena today, and it was a total double whammy. Not only has Ken Kennedy returned after literally years away from our WL, but signed to the ever-expanding roster of manager MJ Ferrantino. This guy's stable is reaching baseball team proportions. And you say you had nothing to do with the tax.
Nope.
That Ferrantino's made this deal, this acquisition, on his own initiative.
His own initiative, correctamundo. Rick Martel about to meet Ken Kennedy in his return match to the RWL Legends Division. This ought to be pretty good. Looking forward to it myself.
His opponent accompanied by manager Matthew James Ferrantino. He will be introducing himself.
Buck Morton sounds pretty put off, man. He will be introducing himself. Well, Ken Kennedy, well known for introducing himself, but coming in, backed up by Matthew James Ferrantino. Again, listen, I had absolutely nothing to do with it. It isn't even my money. Ferrantino just went ahead and did this all by him. He is making deals all over the place again. Him and Sylvia Strong both negotiating for the services of American Powers. And that's still being sorted out.
He's waiting for the microphone to descend from the rafters, isn't he? And he's about to be disappointed, isn't he? Didn't anyone advise Ken Kennedy that we don't do that here?
Oh, no worries, GB. I do believe he just found it out for himself. No worries, microphone's right there in the corner. He'll figure it out. Well, hello. Do believe here in business here. Let's see what Ken Kennedy got to say after all this time.
Good evening, Fort Worth. Let me say first what a thrill and sagacious joy it is to be back in the ring. And what a joy it is to be back as part of the RWL Legends Division. Because how can you have a Legends Division without me, huh? Am I right? Well, I also want to thank Mr. MJ Ferrantino, the only MJF that matters, for giving me the opportunity. And tonight, Rick Martel, you're about to be schooled by the man
I bet he's happy to have that out of his system after such a long time. Rick Martel and Mr. Kennedy, wow. This is going to be good. The ref sounds the bell. Kick to the leg from Rick Martel. Mr. Kennedy with a chop across the chest. Rick Martel counters. Mr. Kennedy counters too, nails him with a backbreaker. Mr. Kennedy with a neckbreaker on Rick Martel, follows it up with a stomp in the face. Mr. Kennedy drives a knee into the back of the head of Rick Martel. Rick Martel whips Kennedy to the rope to corner. A fireman's carry from Mr. Kennedy. A forearm. Rick Martel whipped to the ropes. A collision with no result. Rick Martel with a forearm. Mr. Kennedy with a kick and a jumping neckbreaker. Takes Rick Martel down. Martel up over the shoulders of Mr. Kennedy. Looking for, there it is. Snake eyes right across the top turnbuckle for the model. Kennedy with an assist alley-oop out of the corner. A kick, quick counter from Rick Martel. Mr. Kennedy with a running kick. Took Martel right down again, a fist drop. From Mr. Kennedy, a kick to the back. Rick Martel back standing up, but Kennedy with a kick. And a nice scoop slam. Mr. Kennedy with a right to Rick Martel. Whip to the far corner. Kennedy right there spins him around. Inverted Russian leg sweep, face first right into the canvas for Rick Martel. Martel counters with an arm drag. Back up on his feet. An elbow right to the top of the head. Mr. Kennedy counters with a left. A couple of rights. Rick Martel back in the fourth corner again. Martel turns him around. Has him up on the top turnbuckle. That's going to be bad news for the model. Off the middle rope. Oh, man. What a slam to Rick Martel. Mr. Kennedy going right back to work on a down Rick Martel. Flip over neck whip. Rick Martel trying to get back to his feet, but no doubt so far a leg snap from Mr. Kennedy isn't going to help. MJ Ferrantino acquiring the services of Mr. Kennedy. How about this? A clothesline from Rick Martel. Martel rounds up Kennedy, whips him to the corner, clothesline to the back of the head. Down goes Ken Kennedy. Rick Martel decides to go for the leg. An elbow right into the leg of Mr. Kennedy. Martel drags Kennedy center ring. Starts to snap the leg again. Rick Martel rounds him up. Just about center ring now. Over the top rope, out onto the floor. MJ Ferrantino looking on. Kennedy counters with a shot to the midsection. Martel counters with a kick. Mr. Kennedy with a forearm. Up over the shoulders goes Rick Martel. Rick Martel counters it into an inverted DDT. The referee now counting Mr. Kennedy. MJ Ferrantino not even daring to help up Mr. Kennedy. Kennedy grabs a hold of him, hangs him up off the top rope from the outside. Has Rick Martel up over the shoulders. Face first flapjack to Rick Martel. Martel counters with a shoulder tackle. Rick Martel countered by Mr. Kennedy with an arm drag. Kennedy rounds him up. Vertical suplex from Ken Kennedy. Rick Martel rounded up again. Kennedy with a hard DDT right into the heart of the logo. Right center ring. Mr. Kennedy rolls Rick Martel over, covers, hooks the leg. 1, 2. Referee Anthony Corallo says only 2. Mr. Kennedy stopping the model Rick Martel here. Kennedy winds up the arm. Martel counters with a forearm. And a running crossbody takes Ken Kennedy down. Here's a cover. 1, 2. Quick pin attempt from Rick Martel, but only a 2 count, only a near fall from Ken Kennedy. Rick Martel with the leg swept. Mr. Kennedy, well, he's a master of showboating, in addition to having a big mouth. Rounds up Rick Martel, running clothesline. A second one. Here's a rebound off the ropes. A beautiful kick takes Rick Martel down to the canvas. Mr. Kennedy rounds him up. And there's another DDT. Right center Rick Martel quickly rolls back to his feet. Surprise! Ken Kennedy catches a series of kicks to the leg. Ken Kennedy counters with a right. Rick Martel catches a nasty forearm. Ken Kennedy with Rick Martel up over the shoulders. Slams him down. Here's a Michinoku driver with a cover. 1, 2, 3, and that's a wrap. Ken Kennedy is back and defeats Rick Martel in his return.
Ladies and gentlemen, the time, 5 minutes and 54 seconds. Your winner by pinfall, Mr. Kennedy.
Everybody wants to get into the act, including Buck Morton. Wow, that was great.
Another stunning acquisition for the Ferrantino stable, as Ken Kennedy returns with the 3-count win over Rick Martel. It's definitely been a night for surprises, and Mr. Kennedy could be yet another piece in Ferrantino's chess game with Scott Bell, Lars Sullivan, Gene Snitsky, and now Ken Kennedy. This kid's borderline terrifying.
Well, he did that one in Gene Snitsky all by himself. I did not give him a lick of help. I did not open my checkbook to sign for $1. He did that all by himself. MJ Ferrantino, indeed, starting to build himself up quite an army. All right, folks, we'll be right back with more RWL Sn Rl right after the break. Stick around. Well, you got to have fireworks for Independence Day weekend tonight. A 6-man, no DQ elimination tag between the Toxic Table and Team ECW. Oh my goodness, this one's gonna be insane.
The following contest is a 6-man elimination tag team match with no disqualifications. Last team standing wins with a 20-minute time limit. Introducing first, combined weight unknown, all from parts unknown, the team of A.J. Hawk, Boston Connor, and Ty Schmidt. They are the Toxic Table. If you've been with us a while, you know all about Pat McAfee's Playmates, the Toxic Table, the squad of Beyond Sub-Jobbers, rodeo clowns, desperate to be part of the show. And Myron Schimmelman has signed them to some brutal matches, but tonight, those contracts may as well be death warrants.
A.J. Hawk, Boston Connor, and special guest jobber Ty Schmidt. Mayor McCheese, the Hamburglar, and the Grimace, the Toxic Table. Oh man, facing Rob Van Dam, Sabu, and the Sandman. No disqualification. Elimination, 6-man tag. Oh dear, they're going to be destroyed. The pain.
Cool. I don't think I've ever heard you do Dr. Smith before.
You have indeed, you contemptible commentarian. Well, guys, I hope they've got 2 or 3 ambulances standing by in the back, because here comes the cause of the accident.
As a broadcast analyst, you've got to stay objective. But as a fan, you're just slack-jawed by the prospect of this 3-man team competing in their element. No disqualifications, no count-outs, by any means necessary. Facing 3 far less experienced opponents, sheep thrown to the wolves. Rob Van Dam, Sabu, and Sandman, the Toxic Table is freaking doomed.
But admit it, Wally, it's gonna be fun.
Their opponents at a combined weight of 612 pounds. From Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, the Sandman. From Bombay, Michigan, Sabu. And from Battle Creek, Michigan, Rob Van Dam, RT, ECW.
Speaking now as general manager, folks, I promised you guys an extra special edition of RWL Sn Rl, and if I haven't delivered, my name ain't Hangman Takes Lance.
I'm in absolute awe of this team in this match against these opponents, so please excuse me if I mark out a little bit for just a minute.
Knock yourself out.
As a young fan, I was madly devoted to ECW when it was hot during the mid-90s, and seeing the Sandman, Sabu, and RVD working as a unit tonight against the Toxic Table has got to be awesome sauce. Every one of them former ECW champions with single and tag titles between them all. And they are in their wheelhouse in this six-man elimination tag. No DQ, no countouts. And the referee can declare a knockout on anyone if needed. You would think AJ Hawk and Boston Connor would have smartened up by now. But no, not only does Myron Schimmelman walk them into this match, but they drag in this poor fish Ty Schmidt, who we're seeing for the first time tonight. Possibly the last time, too.
Oh, look at this. How about this right here? The Sandman and RVD engaging in a little bit of a pre-match prayer. Well, if that's not unusual, I don't know what is.
And the very best part of all, the match don't end until all three members of one side have been pinned, tapped out, or been declared and able to continue. That Myron Schimmelman's one cruel man. You would think after he had Earthquake come in and squash Boston Connor last month that the not over bright Toxic Table might back off a little, or maybe even consider getting jobs doing something else. But here we are tonight, with this week's edition of the Toxic Table, cast in the role of the human sacrifices again. Who's taking baits on the Toxic Table winning this one, and shocking the planet again, like when Boston Connor beat the Big Boss Man in his debut match? It could happen, Tex. Stop looking at me that way. It could.
Yes, Wally, and there is a magic wardrobe, and there is a magic land called Narnia just beyond it. No, Wally. Like virgins being tossed into a volcano, the Toxic Table, Boston Connor, AJ Hawk, and Ty Schmidt are doomed.
I hope that a certain Mr. Paulie sees this match, because he and the Toxic Table are gonna be taking a stroll down a barbed wire-strewn memory lane. But I like you better than Joey Styles' Tex.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Cardell. That was exceedingly kind of you. Oh, yes, this week's human sacrifice, and it's gonna be a gem. Re-up on those snacks, because it's about to get nuts. Yes, indeed, viewer discretion is advised. Willie Johnson rings the bell. AJ Hawk takes down the Sandman with a running shoulder. Here's a cover. 1, 2, but Sabu right there to break it up. Goes back over the top rope. AJ Hawk goes to work on the Sandman. Has him up. Gut wrench powerbomb with a sit out. 1. To his credit, he's trying to get a pin at least. AJ Hawk back up on his feet. Takes himself to his corner, tags in Boston Connor. Here comes the Hamburglar. Oh man, they lock up. Sandman, whip to the ropes. Connor ducks under, drop toe hold, takes the Sandman down. Boston Connor going for a cover. 1, but only just a 1. The Sandman powering out too easily. A fist drop from Boston Connor. The Sandman getting back up to his feet, but hard right from Boston Connor. Boston Connor stretching the leg of the Sandman, follows it up with an elbow to the inner thigh. Ouch. Here comes AJ Hawk again. So far, Ty Schmidt has not participated. Hard right from AJ Hawk. The Sandman catches the shoulder. AJ Hawk doing a little bit of showboating here as the Sandman makes his way to the corner. Here comes Sabu. This ain't gonna be good. AJ Hawk collides with the Sandman. Sabu, rebounds off the ropes. Then here's a whirligig. Sabu covers. 1, but only a 1. AJ Hawk, obviously still too fresh. Hard right, spins him around. Sabu with a pretty nice suplex. Inverted, I might add. Sabu moves in on AJ Hawk, follows it up with a stomp to the shoulder. Look at this. Sabu biting the hand that feeds him, literally. Oh, man. Sabu with the hard whip to his team's corner. Not going to tag anybody. He's calling for a running bulldog smack center ring. Face first into the logo. AJ Hawk tags in Boston Connor. Sabu with a very nasty bulldog and a very nasty cover. 1, 2, but only 2. Boston Connor fires out. AJ Hawk quickly taken down with a leg sweep by Sabu. Sabu going after Ty Schmidt as well. Look at this. Going after anything with a pulse. Boston Connor trying to break it up, and Sabu gets hung up on the top rope by Ty Schmidt. Back into the corner goes Sabu. Ty Schmidt comes in for the first time. Head first into the turnbuckle. Up into an electric chair. Look at this. Ty Schmidt takes himself up to the middle rope. And what in the heck? Oh, wow. What a nasty DDT. Ty Schmidt goes for the cover. 1. I don't know, the ECW original's getting out extremed over here by the toxic table. Well, that's just not going to fly. That's a concrete kite. Sabu counters, gets back up on his feet, delivers a kick to Ty Schmidt. A series of elbows to the leg of Ty Schmidt. Man, like 5 of them, too. Oh, man. Rob Van Dam comes in for the first time on the tag. Ty Schmidt beating it out of town. I don't think he wants any RV. Here we go. Ty Schmidt gets himself a trash can as an equalizer as Rob Van Dam goes after Boston Connor and AJ Hawk. AJ Hawk tags Rob Van Dam with a shot. Ty Schmidt goes behind with a side suplex on RVD. Smashes the arm to the canvas. Ty Schmidt goes for a cover here, but not even a 1. Holy Johnson might have took too long getting there. Rob Van Dam. Look at a power driver on poor Ty Schmidt. RVD goes for a cover. 1, 2, 3. Well, that's a wrap. About 4 minutes and 20 seconds for Ty Schmidt, courtesy of RVD. How appropriate. 4:20. AJ Hawk with a sit-out powerbomb on Rob Van Dam. RVD counters with a clothesline, takes him down, goes after AJ Boston Connor as well. RVD locked up by AJ Hawk. He's got him all the way up. Long vertical suplex with, with a jackhammer style. A little bit of Goldberg right there. RVD whipped to the ropes. AJ Hawk with a headbutt. That was pretty impressive. I'll have to give him his due. RVD up against the ropes, getting his arm yanked by AJ Hawk. Hawk with a tag, a clothesline, takes RVD down, and here comes Boston Connor. Ty Schmidt already eliminated. We're down to just these 2. From the toxic table, RVD going for another pin. 1, and only 1. Boston Connor and AJ Hawk having lost Ty Schmidt at 4:20. That is just too good. RVD caught up, slammed down by Boston Connor. RVD drags in the Sandman for the first time. Oh, there we go. It's going to get crazy now. The Sandman has him up in the pile driver position, shows him to all 4 sides and tags him with that beautiful pile driver cover. 1. But AJ Hawk breaks up the pin. Not looking good for the toxic table, I gotta tell you that. The Sandman countered by Boston Connor. Couple of hard rights to the left, and a spinning clothesline takes the Sandman down to the canvas. Sandman being stretched by Boston Connor. Boston Connor makes his way to the corner, tags in AJ Hawk. The Sandman still ain't up. AJ Hawk moves in on the Sandman, but the Sandman rolls out of the ring, rolls himself back in, locks up with AJ Hawk. Hard whip to the ropes. Drop toe hold on the Sandman. Sandman steps out. Here comes Sabu. AJ Hawk charges, catches a leg sweep from Sabu. Sabu a stomp to the shoulder of AJ Hawk. And into a blatant choke. Well, Like I said, this was not going to be a last match. No DQs, no countouts, no nothing. Sabu with a hold of that trash can. Tries to save it for a rainy day. Takes himself out of the ring. AJ Hawk collides with Sabu. Whoa, man. Gravity flapjack right there. Face first into the floor. Went Sabu. Hard right from AJ Hawk. And another. Sabu. Locked up by AJ Hawk. This ain't gonna be good. Has him all the way up. Another long jackhammer style suplex. Spinning headbutt. Alright, well, AJ Hawk must have been doing some practicing at home. Lines up the arm on Sabu and snaps it. AJ Hawk takes himself back inside the ring. Gets a hold of that trash can, but again, nobody using the trash can just yet. AJ Hawk goes after the Sandman, and Rob Van Dam brings RVD into the... draped over the ropes, hard clubbing overhand right. Sabu, locked up by AJ Hawk. AJ Hawk whips him to his team's corner. And, Sabu counters with an elbow, gets out of the corner. Gets a hold of AJ Hawk. Nice little power slam right there from Sabu. Sabu makes his way out. Here comes the Sandman. Again, 6-man elimination tag here. They don't stop until one team's all gone. AJ Hawk with the trash can. The Sandman sitting up on the top turnbuckle waiting for him. Here's a kick to the gut. Man, hip first right into the lid of that the base of that trash can. AJ Hawk tosses it to the Sandman. A series of shots takes Sandman down to the canvas. AJ Hawk whips Sandman into the corner. Man, AJ Hawk currently in control for the toxic table. Only 2 members left out of the team. Sandman counters with an elbow, locks up AJ Hawk, lines him up, Russian leg sweep, down to the canvas goes AJ Hawk. As the Sandman beats it out of town. And here comes Sabu. Little drop kick to the knee. Takes AJ Hawk down. Sabu, hard forearm. He's got a hold of the trash can. This ain't gonna be good. Oof, found him. Sabu. Found AJ Hawk with that trash can, putting a nice dent in it. One. Still wasn't enough. He's gonna have to hit him with that trash can a couple more times. Sabu. Quickly saves Boston corner is AJ Hawk. AJ Hawk with a knee to the midsection of Sabu. A series of shots. A hard shot to the midsection. Sabu. Up over the shoulder of AJ Hawk. There's a little Oklahoma Stampede right there. Running power slam with a cover. 1, 2. Now as close to a near fall as we've gotten so far, but so far nothing. Sabu tags in RVD. RVD up on the top rope. Quickly stopped by the Sandman, but RVD wound it up. AJ Hawk goes after Sabu, but no good. RVD gonna go after him, make him pay for the mistake. Whip to the trash can. A series of shots. Rob Van Dam with a nice suplex on AJ Hawk. Up over the top rope, out onto the floor goes RVD. He's got a shovel. He knows how to work it. He is just tagging AJ Hawk in every available spot. A running spear takes RVD down. But, AJ Hawk in possession of the shovel. Oh, man, right on the top of RVD's head. A series of shots with that shovel. That is, oh, man. RVD may not be good anymore. Okay. AJ Hawk teeing off with that shovel. RVD finally disarms him. Tags him with a series of punches and kicks, and down goes AJ Hawk. RVD, battered and bleeding, nails him with the rolling thunder. Nicely done. Rob Van Dam shoves AJ Hawk towards the opposing corner. He counters with a kick to the head, gets back up on his feet. Rob Van Dam with a running drop kick takes AJ Hawk down to the floor. Rob Van Dam rather gingerly making his way to the apron to go get himself a little toy. He's got one. This ain't good. Barbed wire baseball bat. AJ Hawk catches a series of shots. Rob Van Dam. RVD goes after Boston Connor too. Boston Connor taunting RVD. And he's going to pay for that. Rob Van Dam got a hold of him and Paul slams him head first into the apron. RVD taken down by AJ Hawk. Hawk moves in with a headbutt on Rob Van Dam. RVD rolled over. AJ Hawk rounds him up again. Brainbuster. That was a nasty one. AJ Hawk rounds up Rob Van Dam again. Scoop slams him hard against the floor. Man, what a match this has been so far. To their credit, the Toxic Table's still hanging on with just 2 members. RVD is still laid out. Another spinning headbutt from AJ Hawk. AJ Hawk gets RVD back inside the ring. Rob Van Dam trying to get back to his feet. AJ Hawk gets a hold of him. A clothesline takes RVD down. Followed up with a second one from AJ Hawk, who steps over, rounds him up, and there's a third clothesline to RVD. AJ Hawk tags in Boston Connor. To their credit, this match has gone longer than I thought. Boston Connor with a forearm takes down RVD, goes for the cover. 1, 2, no good. Rob Van Dam powering out of the pin. Rebound off the ropes, a running leg drop from Boston Connor. Boston Connor gets swept by RVD. RVD rounds him up. Has him locked up. Hard whip to the Team ECW corner. Spun out to center. Moonsault from RVD on Boston Connor. Here comes Sabu again on the tag. Boston Connor laid out. Here's a stomp to the midsection from Sabu. Sabu follows up with a stomp. Here's a cover from Sabu. 1, 2. And the Hamburglar is gone. Oh, AJ Hawk all by himself with a shoulder on Sabu takes him down. 1, 2. And I guess the Sandman believed that Sabu would get up all by himself, and he sure as hell did. AJ Hawk's busted open too. He's the only one left out of his team. Boston Connor laid out over there. Another flying shoulder from AJ Hawk, and here's another cover. 1, 2, and again, no. Sabu refusing to go down. Barbed wire bat. AJ Hawk tags Sabu a couple of times. Tags him again. Sabu counters, disarms AJ Hawk. A kick takes down AJ Hawk. Sabu rounds him up again. Hard whip to the Team ECW corner. Here comes the Sandman on the tag. Boston Connor just regaining consciousness here. Here, assisted shoulder between the Sandman and Sabu. And look at this. The Sandman indicating that the end is near for AJ Hawk. Hard whip to the far corner. Sandman with the barbed wire bat tags him 1 over the head, tags him 2 over the head, tags him a 3rd over the head as Boston Connor makes his way out of here. Man, the Sandman covers, hooks the leg. 1, 2, 3. ECW, Team ECW defeats the Toxic Table.
15 minutes and 45 seconds. Your winners, Rob Van Dam, Sabu, and the Sandman. Team ECW.
All right, no big shock here, but the ECW Pioneers laying waste to the Toxic Table, just about as expected, and it was a beautiful thing. What a show-stealing match. More snarl when we come back after this.
Closing out the first half tonight, it's Thrasher and Mosh, the Headbangers, facing Eddie and Ray, the Guns Brothers. Now starting from the ground up after losing to the Psychedelics at Texas Thunder.
Which means they're going to be in a bad mood and probably off their meds.
The following tag team matches set for 1 fall with a 20-minute time limit. Introducing first, at a combined weight of 488 pounds, the team of Thrasher and Mosh, the headbangers.
Well, we're lucky to get to see Thrasher and Mosh every so often, the two guys that the Angels of Anarchy would most likely double date with. And Thrasher and Mosh are going to have a little bit of a problem tonight because the Guns brothers are definitely in a bad mood after losing an opportunity at the Snarl Tag titles to the Psychodelics at Texas Thunder.
The Guns family dynasty definitely making moves in recent days, with Angie Angel Guns now as Women's International Champion. We know how this family has positioned themselves very close to the top of things around our WL for nearly 20 years. Their opponents, accompanied by Don Roy Caruso.
Shut up!
Bronx, New York, in a combined weight of 476 pounds, Mr. Ringside Eddie Guns, and El Jefe Ray Guns, the Guns brothers.
Do you see what I see, Wally?
Are you kidding? I don't believe it. Don Roy Caruso hasn't been seen in our WL for, what's it been text, like 8 or 9 years now?
10 years, Wally. Exactly about 10 years.
Roy Caruso, who is he? He's definitely way before my time here, so fill me in.
Fill him in, Wally, while I pick up my jaw.
Caruso was boss of the Sicilian mob faction, managing the Guns brothers 10 years ago. Vanished from the company when he was implicated in a car bombing that targeted Scott Bell in 2015. True story, Johnny.
And now he's back. Yikes.
Guys, let's not rush to judgment. He's just standing ringside. Thrasher and Mr. Ringside starting us off here. Walt Rothburn sounds the bell. Late comes center ring. A throat chop from Thrasher. Eddie Guns lines up the arm from behind. Suplex from Mr. Ringside. Thrasher catches a double boot stomp from Eddie Guns. A kick to the chest. Mr. Ringside beats it out of town, and here comes El Jefe Ray Guns on the tag. Thrasher still hasn't got to his feet. Ray Guns starts raining hard right hands on Thrasher's head. El Jefe Ray Guns rounds up Thrasher again, locks him up. Hard whip to the Guns brothers' corner. And here's a kick to the midsection, and a grinding of the face into the top rope. El Jefe Ray Guns rounds him up hard, right hand takes him down. Here's a cover with a hook of the leg, one, but no, just one. Roy Caruso, man, how about that? Ray Guns rounds up Thrasher hard, right, spins him around, goes behind. Abdominal stretch. It's a possible submission, but it usually doesn't work that way. Thrasher counters it into a hip toss. Now beating Ray Guns' head against the count. Looks like Thrasher's gonna beat it out of town. Here comes Mosh. El Jefe standing center ring waiting for him. They lock up. Whip to the far corner. Here's a tag. Thrasher comes right back in. Here's a headbangers double team. El Jefe whip to the ropes. Double kick to the midsection. And a double flapjack face first into the canvas. As Thrasher resumes control of the match, driving a knee into the head of El Jefe Ray Guns. A hard right follows that up. Another whip to the headbanger's corner. It's not looking good for Ray Guns. A hard right from Thrasher. There's another one. There's a third one. And down goes El Jefe. Thrasher rounds him up again. Right back into the headbanger's corner. Here comes Mosh on the tag, and here comes another double team from the headbangers. A shot to the back of the head of El Jefe. And look, oh man. Nasty combination leg drop. And here's a cover from Mosh. One, two, but Mr. Ringside, Eddie Guns right there to break it up and save the match for his team. Crossbody from Mosh. Ray Guns rolls on out to the floor. Mosh decides against the high risk, goes after Mr. Ringside instead. Don Roy Caruso. He's put on a couple of pounds since, but still the same Don. Okay, Mosh playing around in the Guns brothers' corner as El Jefe pitches Thrasher halfway across town. Rounds him back up. Here comes Mosh to rescue his partner. Into a headlock punch on Ray Guns. El Jefe catches an elbow. Mosh. Well, there we go. The headbangers doing what they do. That's why the fans like him. Kick to the leg of El Jefe. A stomp to the knee. Mosh in control here. El Jefe shoves him away. The referee's been counting. Mosh pitched towards the timekeeper's area as El Jefe Ray Guns makes his way back inside. Mosh follows him on in. Knee right to the head of Mosh. El Jefe with a shot to the back. Whips Mosh to his team's corner. Here comes Mr. Ringside Eddie Guns. Double team tag punch. Eddie Guns rounds up Mosh over the shoulders. Hung up on the top rope. Mr. Ringside Eddie Guns rounds up Mosh. Flips him back into the Guns Brothers corner again. Here's another tag. Here's another double team. El Jefe with the double X handle on the arm of Mosh. Oh, man, wicked strength kick to the face. Here's a cover and a hook of the leg, but Thrasher right there to break that one up. El Jefe goes after Thrasher, too. Tags him with a shot. Double boot stomp to Mosh. The legal man in the ring. El Jefe whip to the headbanger's corner again. Mosh, I don't know what's on his mind. Oh, he's getting into it with Roy Caruso. Oh, look at this here. El Jefe goes behind on Mosh, whips him to the Guns Brothers corner. He counters and escapes the corner, gets a hold of El Jefe. Escorts him to the far corner, head first into the turnbuckle goes Ray Guns. Mosh rounds him up. There's a scoop slam. Here's a quick cover with a hook of the leg. One, but only just one. Not nearly enough damage done. Here's a quick hot tag to Mr. Ringside Eddie Guns. Locks up Mosh. Whips him to the ropes. Drives a knee right into his skull. Down he goes. Mr. Ringside Eddie Guns definitely not in a good mood since him and Ray lost that chance at the Snarl tag titles to the Psychedelics. He rounds up Mosh. Spine buster. Oh, man. Mosh on the bad end of some business here. Mr. Ringside stops him. Kick to the midsection, and here it comes. Here's the flatliner. Boom! Down he goes. There's a cover and a hook of the leg. 1, 2, 3. Wrap this one up. Take it on home. The Guns Brothers defeat the Headbangers by pinfall.
The time, 5 minutes and 55 seconds. Your winners by pinfall, the Guns Brothers.
Eddie and Ray, the Guns Brothers, closing the door rather abruptly on Thrasher and Mosh, with Mr. Ringside nailing Mosh with the flatliner for the pin. And what's Don Roy Caruso doing back with the Guns boys after 10 years away, Tex? Did you know about this?
Nope. Had no idea that Don Roy Caruso was even out. Anyway, we'll be back with the second half of tonight's Snarl right after this brief intermission.